Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Fitrah and I am from the State University of Makassar. Today, I am excited to share my project for the International Kuali Songo Science Competition. The title of my presentation is The Hidden Mathematics and Algebra in Voting Systems. And I promise by the end of this presentation, you'll never look at an election result the same way again. Let me start by explaining the situation we're looking at. In many universities, electing the head of the Student Executive Board, or BEM, is always done by direct voting, where one student equals one vote. Instead, some campus was a system where each faculty sent delegates, kind of like a small-scale electoral college. So, each faculty sends a certain number of representatives we call these delegate seats to something called the General Study Assembly, and the seats aren't handed out equally. They're given out based on how many active students each faculty has. This setup actually raises two really interesting questions. First, how do we fairly divide the seats among the faculties based on their student population? That's a question we solve using algebra. Second, and this is the more surprising one, which faculty actually has the most influence when it comes to forming a winning coalition? That's a combinatorics problem. Here's our data. We have five faculties. Engineering with 1,200 students. Economics and business with 950. Law with 700. Social and political science with 650 and medicine with 500. That's 4,000 students in total. And here are the two key numbers to remember. There are 15 total seats up for grabs, and you need at least 8 seats. That's a simple majority to win. So first, let's solve the easy part. How many seats does each faculty actually get in percent terms? The method here is simple. You take a faculty seats, divide by the total number of seats, which is 15, and multiply by 100. So for example, engineering has 4 seats. 4 divided by 15 gives us 26.67%. Some for economics also 4 seats, also 26.67%. Law has 3 seats, which comes out to 20%. And then social science and medicine each have 2 seats, giving that 13.33 each percent each. Now, on the surface, this looks perfectly fine, right? More students, more seats, but here's where it gets interesting. To figure out what actually holds the real power, we was something called the Banzhaf Power Index, and the first step is we list every single possible coalition, every possible combination of faculties working together, and check which ones actually reach that winning threshold of 8 seats or more. With 5 faculties, there are 32 possible combinations in total, and once we sorted them by size, we found 16 coalitions that actually won. Now here's the case step. For each winning coalition, we check each member one at a time and ask if this faculty left the coalition, will it still win? Let's take an example. Say law, social science, and medicine team up. That's 9 seats total, so they win. Now, if we remove law, we're left with 5 seats. That's a loss. So law was pivotal. If we remove social science, we get 6 seats. Still a loss, so social science was pivotal too. And if we remove medicine, we get 7, also a loss. So in this equation, all three faculties are pivotal. But now look at a bigger question: engineering, economics, law, and social science together, that's 13 seats. If we remove engineering, we're still at 9 seats. Still winning? Same story for the others. So in this case, nobody is pivotal because there's just too much surplus power in that group. After repeating this process for all 16 winning coalition, we get this table: engineering and economics were pivotal 8 times each, but law, social science, and medicine, they were each pivotal exactly 4 times. Now stop and think about that for a second. Law has more seats than social science and medicine, but it's crucial the exact same number of times. To double check this finding, we use a second method, the supply-Subic index. This one looks at every possible under in which faculties call join a coalition instead of just the combination. The nice thing is, we don't have to read everything from scratch. We can use the pivotal data from before and just apply a weight formula based on coalition size. When we multiply two swings with the pivotal counts and add everything up, we get the same pattern. Engineering and economics end up with 0.30 each, and law, social science, and medicine each end up with 0.1333. If we check our math, 0.30 plus 0.30 plus 0.1333 the times, it adds up to exactly 1.00, which confirms our calculation is correct. Converting to percentage, we get engineering 30%, economics 30%, and then law, social science, and then medicine all three at 13.33%. So here's our conclusion, and this really the heart of the whole presentation. More seat does always mean more political power. Law holds 3 seats, more than social science and medicine, which only have 2 seats each. But when you actually calculate their real influence, using two completely different mathematical methods. They end up with exactly the same amount of power. 14.29% under Banzhaf and 13.33% under Shapley-Zubik. So the number of seats you hold is only half the story. Mathematics, specifically combinatorics, reveals the other half, the half that actually determines what really holds the power. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.